Shades of Red, and why I mostly couldn't give a crap. Now, typically I'm pretty cynical anyway, but obviously I'm in a pretty difficult place at the moment, so take my cynicism with a extra dose of cynicism. 50 Shades of Red. No, just Shades of Red. Why am I adding 50 Shades of Grey? What do you get when you cross Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey? 50 Shades of Red. Why am I not impressed? Well, Project Resolve. Remember that? Who remembers that? The one thing Project Resolve did do is it at least stabilised the servers and the gameplay. I mean, I personally, after Project Resolve was implemented, didn't really have any issues with deltas or whatnot. There were a few laggy moments here and there, but they were very quickly patched out. It was going well. Yeah, we're back to deltas galore, especially within New York from Shades of Red, which is, you know, absolutely fantastic. Then there's all the weapon changes. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm actually yes and no. I'm leaning both away on these weapon changes. You see, with Project Resolve, the weapon changes, all they did was, hey, every LMG plus 20% damage. It's just like, that doesn't solve the issues with LMGs. So what they've done with this is they've actively taken a closer look at the weapons. This is the MMRs that they've changed, and they've either decreased the damage, up the rate of fire, decreased the rate of fire, but up the damage, changed the reload speed, messed around with the optimal range. Personally, I don't know if it's just me, but an MMR with an optimal range of 50 meters is just sort of like, they should all be max, all of them. Like, what the hell? Like, it's an MMR. Marksman rifle, but still, like, they've done a little bit more thought onto what the weapon needs to be a bit more balanced within the game. Whether they've done an actual good job or not, I'll leave to you guys. But they've actually given it a lot more thought, which is a good thing. But what I'm annoyed at is Project Resolve put some weapons quite well up there, and people invested in those weapons. A very prominent one would be Banshee. Banshee became very top tier within the SMG space outside of Ouroboros. People got a hold of it, they liked it, they thought it was fun, they invested in it. Shades of Red comes around. Fuck you, fuck your Banshee, and fuck your resources. Thanks for that, devs. Cheers. Really, really appreciate that. That was amazing. Thank you so much. What sort of reaction do you want people to have? You've literally just forced them to waste their time, effort, and resources because you thought you would do a better job the second time around. Are you okay? Seriously? Right, now let's talk, actual content. What happened? What's changed? Especially within the seasons. I've seen a lot of people bragging and loving the way the seasons now work. Why? Seriously, why? I want to know. I'm assuming there's just some weird placebo effect going on. Simply just because I see people being like, oh yeah, but previously I would just run around like a lunatic and just, do whatever and level up. Most of the time I'd be doing resource convoys, bounties, or public executions. And it's just well, there's a reason we did that. Yeah, well, now I don't have to. Well, now what you have to do is do the exact same thing, but only when the game tells you to. That's the only change now is you're following instruction. You're doing the exact same thing, but under instruction. You'll do the territory control when it tells you to do the territory control. You'll do the resource convoy when it tells you to do the resource convoy. Nothing has actually changed, apart from you can only do it while under instruction. If you don't have that instruction up, you don't get the XP for it, you won't level up your season pass. To me, that's a bad change. It's the exact same thing we've always been doing. They've just now added the caveat of you have to have the instruction activated. That's it. Still the same thing, you're still doing the same thing. It's just now obnoxious. That's a hell of a change. They have added things like the journey and scouts, but it's the exact same thing, just with forced, weird directives. I've not played with them. I've seen other people play with them, but there was one like you had to hit things like between 15 and 20 meters, and if you don't, you take the damage that you deal. Get fucked. There's a few others that are just absolutely bizarre. I've watched a few clanmates stream the game, trying to do like journeys 5, 6, and 7, and honestly, so many of them would just walk up to like convoy, like just the things they've done a million times before and would wipe the floor with it, and then literally just out of nowhere they just die. They get shocked, bled, foamed, everything all at once, and then just die. And it's just like, that's not fun and engaging gameplay. That's like, I will accept that as fun and engaging gameplay the moment I see Yannick with all 500 of his SHD do that. Go on, Yannick. Challenge for you. First of all, I want to see you solo a legendary mission. Pick whatever one you want. Just solo it. And then I want to see you do journeys 1 to 7. Solo. I want to see you do it. On heroic, by the way. No putting it on normal. No putting it on friggin' challenging or hard or whatever it is. Heroic. Where everyone else is playing. Get busy. Oh, and has anyone else noticed that on the season pass we're now getting scammed? I'm actually being serious. We're genuinely getting scammed. In the previous season passes, there'd be 2 tracks. You'd have the upper track, which is the free one, which like, I think for like the first 10 levels you get something every level, and then after that's like every 5, and then yeah, bloody blah. If you want to get something every level, you have to buy the season pass. And when you get something on the season pass, it will be, like I said, every level, but the free one isn't every level. However, when you come across a level, I don't know, say like, go with like 55. Normally there's something on 55. You'll get the free item, because normally there's a free item at 55, and you'll also get the season pass item. So you get 2 items. Normally it'd be like, I don't know, a skin, and then like, I don't know, some keys, or a colour, an apparel colour, something. Not normally that impressive, but you'd get 2. On the season pass now, no. There are still some that are 3, but on the ones that are paid, you no longer also get the free item as well, which means you're losing about roughly 30-ish% from the season pass that we used to get. We're no longer getting that. And they haven't changed the price of the season pass. So you're getting less for the same price. Cheers, devs. Thank you so much. Then there's this fucking thing. Strager. Oh no, what's my problem with Strager? The weapon itself is fine. Like, in terms of use within game is fine. My issue is more that it's an exotic FAL, which is a gun made by the Belgians, the Dutch, used by the British Army, and they've implemented it into a patch within Division 2 that is very, very Russian themed. Why didn't they just do an exotic TKB? That would at least fit. Also, why is the theme for this season Russian? That seems like a bit of a dodgy road to go down. Just saying. And don't get me wrong, I don't think the devs are particularly smart enough to understand that the fact that this is a very Russian-themed season. So I'm not saying they're taking a political stance. However, considering the political stances they've taken in the past with pride, equal rights, blah, the whole gender equality thing, as well as going into things such as like Autism Awareness Week and telling me how I, as an autistic person, should feel being autistic, it's not too much of a stretch to say that they're taking a political stance on the side of Russia. I'm not saying taking Russia's side is also wrong. I'm just saying people are actually dying. I don't think you should make your opinions or political leanings public in this way. I don't think they have. Like I said, I don't think they're smart enough to do that. But still, it's not too much of a stretch to go down that road with this patch. And I don't think it's a particularly good look for them. Now, I'm aware someone's going to go, oh, but it's due to the collaboration with Stalker 2, which is Chernobyl, which is in Ukraine. Chernobyl was on the Ukrainian-Belarus border, and the incident took place in 1986. During 1986, Ukraine was part of the Soviet fucking Union. It's Russian. All right, I think I've rambled on a bit too long at this point. Yeah, conclusion. Reasons I'm really not excited for 50 Shades of Red. One, I think the weapon changes came way too soon after Project Resolve. That is just basically shit on players. As well as, don't get me wrong, I like the fact that they've actually taken a little bit more notice as to what some of the weapons need. But the overall changes to the weapons just weren't actually needed this soon after Project Resolve. Everything that's basically been done in Project Resolve has been undone by Shades of Red, which is now just wasting players' time. In terms of actual content, there's quite literally nothing, or at least nothing that interests me. The changes to the season, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have no idea how they could change the seasons to actually be good. I'm not a dev, so that's not my job. But the changes to the season, all they've done is just make it annoying and obnoxious to do the exact same thing we were already doing in the first place. The journeys just seem like a ball ache for the sake of being a ball ache. I've not looked into the scout things, but I don't know. The actual season track is, to me, a complete scam. I'm aware a lot of the rewards on it aren't that great anyway, but I would like to at least think if you paid for the season pass, it would at least be equal in value to what we were getting previously. It just isn't. And to top it all off, I find the fact that they've gone with a Russian theme really, really twitchy. Like, just And I think the only reason that I'm kind of on that side of things is because I am ex-infantry. I'm ex-military. So being the fact that, that is something they should just absolutely leave alone. I'm aware they probably didn't mean it in that way, but it's very, very easy to connect those dots, whether they want to or not. You can connect those dots. People will connect those dots. And it could very, very easily bite them in the ass. And to be honest, considering they went down this route, I'm kind of actually hoping it does, because that is really sketchy. As for the future of what I'm going to be covering in this game, a lot of people have said they wanted me to get back into the math. I will be, but only for specific builds. I'm not going to go through every fucking weapon again just for them to 2 months down the line change them all. Like, no. Like, hell no. So I'm going to leave that to this guy.
Hi, I'm IKEA.
IKEA is absolutely the #1 source for math and just really, really well tested, good information within the Division 2 at the moment. So absolutely do recommend him. I'll link his channel in the description just in case you haven't found him yet. Other than that, I'll just play around, make up some weird and wacky builds. I'll go over the math for those builds, some alterations you can make. I do want to do a lot of testing with Strager. One thing I've seen a lot of people doing is putting it on negotiators, which is actually a damage decrease. You don't want to put it on negotiators simply because the buff for Stragers doesn't apply on negotiators mark kill. It will apply to the negotiators mark damage application, but when you get the kill, it doesn't apply Strager, which means you're just outright losing damage in the long run. So yeah, that's something I want to go over. There'll be math in that. I want to go over the new Pestilence, some build alterations you can do with that. There's a few things I do want to do that I will be going into the math, but I'm not going to sit there and compare every AR, every SMG, every MMR. Maybe when the game settles down a little bit in a patch or two, if things haven't changed, maybe I'll go over it then. But for 2 months straight after Project Resolve, hell no. Anyway, that is just about going to do it for this video. Hopefully this answers a lot of your questions, and hopefully some of you can see me back in and doing this. Yes, I am playing a game with nothing but skills. So many of you are going to be looking at me going, hang on, yes. This is me playing with nothing but skills. In the meantime, though, have fun, good luck, don't die. It's bad for the health.